Hello everyone, this is Shravan. I'm back with another video of Scorpio N. In my last video, I spoke about what is the one reason you should buy Scorpio N for, and that is handling. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how the body roll of Scorpio N. So when I say body roll, how is the sideway movement? In this video, there's actually the road I've driven. In fact, there's no road. It's the worst roads usually you see in the rural areas. We all love big tall SUVs, but we don't like body roll. But that's not how physics work, right? Any tall structure has to undergo certain architectural changes or advancements. They have to implement to sustain wind forces and to stabilize it. To give you a small example, let's say this is our feet, and we walk like this. Our feet is flat, grounded. We are stabilized and balanced. But imagine if we have to walk on our toes, on the finger tips of our feet like this. Obviously there is, we are not as balanced as we are as a flat feet, right? Because we have increased your height. So if you have, when you were a kid, you actually, we try to play around walking on finger toes like this. And what do we do to balance ourselves? We actually stretch our hands, two hands like this, and we try to balance ourselves. So similarly, what Mahindra has done in Scorpio N is they have implemented something called wax link suspension system, which does the same thing. It's basically, there are two rods connected to the rear wheels, basically the sideway movements is controlled. In fact, those impacts are transferred to these rattling suspension system like this, and that's how the sideway movement is controlled. And believe me, it's pretty much controlled. And for a ladder frame SUV, I would say it's actually no body roll on a regular roads. But in this video, I'm going to show how much body roll it's present. So I have tested Swift, as I mentioned. In this road I have driven, in fact I sat on the second row of XUV 700, and I have sat on second row of Scorpio N. So between Swift and Scorpio N, the sideway movement on this road is, the difference between Swift and Scorpio N is 10 to 15%, meaning it is 10 to 15% more in Scorpio N compared to a hatchback, which I think is very great, and which is something Mahindra has achieved, through their changes which they have brought in, the advancement in suspension system. So basically, the FDD, which is a frequency dependency damping, suspension which is used, and the Wattling system, and even the suspension travel of Scorpio N is higher. As per Mahindra, the industry standard is 180 mm, but in Scorpio N it is 200 mm. So all this put together has actually made a huge difference in handling and even in comfort. So a 10 to 15% difference or higher compared to hatchbacks on a ladder frame SUVs, I think it's a great achievement. So coming back to a 700, unfortunately I don't have a video of 700, but as I sat on the second row in 700, because it's not tall and it is wide, there is absolutely no body roll. And even in 700 you have FDD suspension system with a roller blade suspension system, which is also controlling a lot of those harshness of road, or the impact of poles is not being transferred to the cabin or the passengers. It is comfortable, but the difference between 700 in terms of comfort and the Scorpio N is a bit more. The comfortness in Scorpio N is a bit more, because apart from the FDD suspension system which is used in 700, in Scorpio N, the FTD system has more advanced suspension system, which is called MTVCL. Due to this, you actually get a cushion effect in Scorpio N, even though in these kind of roads which you see, such a bad roads, you don't feel those potholes and the harshness of the road inside. Apart from that, you actually feel pampered, and that cushion effect is present. Sorts of, it is pampering you, even though the roads are uneven, which I think is great, and which I think is, which is not present in 700. So that's an important point to be noted. And also, another point I want to mention is, I am holding the camera with my hand and sitting in front seat in Swift, and when it comes to Scorpio, and I'm sitting in second row. So when I'm holding the camera like this, and with my hand raised at this level, what happens is you might see in the camera that the sideway movement is amplified in camera, because even though it settles down in reality, but in camera, you'll have a little play because my hand is raised, and you'll have the play is little more even after the car settles down. So in reality, it is not that much, but in camera, you might it appears that it is more. So just to be aware, the whole point of I am coming in front of camera and talking about this is to make sure that you're aware of these points, what you're going to see in the upcoming video. And another point I want to mention is these kind of roads we generally face in rural areas, and interstate travel occasionally, maybe a 50 kilometer or 70 kilometer stretch. And unless until you're going to Leh Ladakh, where you have long stretches of these kind of roads. But as I said, since Scorpio N is using MTBCL FDD system, and you do have that cushion effect, so you are never going to get fatigue, or you don't feel fatigue at the end of the journey, right? So that's the important point to note. And overall, as a package, why would somebody go to a ladder frame SUV? Is a good commanding position, for off-roading, and that's the reason you basically you opt for it. Again, Scorpio N comes on a different category of vehicles, and 700 comes in a different category, and Swift is a different category. But we tend to compare, with all the cars. But here I'm trying to, give you a demonstration where even in hatchback we have body roll. But when it comes to a tall SUV like Scorpio N, it amplifies a bit more. But that amplification is not more, like it's not worse actually. It's actually much better than any other ladder frame SUV. So that's an important point to be noted. And somebody who doesn't want a commanding position and tall SUV, I think they should choose 700. But somebody who wants a proper off-roader ladder frame SUV and that commanding position, and then if you have those thoughts of, okay, how much body roll it has, will this be a comfortable car, then my view is absolutely, and this is just a very small amount of sacrifice. Like I said, 10-15% is nothing. So absolutely, it's a great car, and Mahindra has done a great job with this car. A big thumbs up to them. And I hope you enjoy this video and keep watching.